Hi friends, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Amanda. So I'm really excited today to be bringing you a couple of delicious pumpkin recipes. You know, fall is right around the corner. It'll be here before we know it, and I just couldn't resist making a couple of pumpkin recipes. I have to say that the pumpkin earthquake cake that I made is arguably the best pumpkin recipe I've ever had in my life. So you've got to stay tuned for that one. And then we're going to make some delicious baked pumpkin donuts too. We're going to dip those in cinnamon sugar. Super yummy too. But my favorite is the earthquake cake, so definitely make that one. Now, if you're new to my channel, I'd love it if you'd hit that subscribe button and join my YouTube family. I do all kinds of recipes. It's what's for dinners, any kind of recipe ideas that to try to help you feed your family and have dinner inspiration and all kinds of recipe inspiration. So I definitely would love it if you'd subscribe. Go ahead and give me a like if you're excited to get into these pumpkin recipes, but let's go ahead and get into the video. So first up, we have the pumpkin earthquake cake. And guys, this recipe is super simple and super delicious. So we're going to get started first making the cream cheese mixture. I've got an 8-ounce block of cream cheese that I've softened. We're going to also add in a half a cup of unsalted butter melted. And then we're going to mix this all together really well, get it combined, and then we're going to add in some powdered sugar and mix that really well, and then that'll be kind of our cream cheese mixture that we're going to use in this cake. Now, this uses a spice cake mix, so it's kind of like one of those, I guess, cake mix hacks or whatever you want to call them. So it's a way of taking a cake mix and just elevating it to another level, and this truly does do that. Oh my goodness, I cannot tell y'all how good this is. It is so amazing. Now, do y'all have a favorite pumpkin recipe that you make every year? And if so, let me know what that is in the comments down below. I really think pumpkin is delicious in so many things. I mean, you can do pumpkin coffee, you can do like the ice drinks and stuff like that. And there's all kinds of, ways to use it. So I'm probably going to make some other pumpkin recipes and share them a little later on too, because I really do love trying the new things, involving especially fall recipes. Oh my goodness, y'all. Like, fall is really my favorite time of year. I absolutely love fall because the leaves changing and just the, cools down and all that stuff. I love it. And I love Thanksgiving, and then it goes into Christmas of course, that's more winter, but it's definitely, my favorite time of year. So I'm excited to be heading into fall. So once that gets good and combined, I'm going to go ahead and get started on my cake mix part, because we're actually going to take that cream cheese and add that to the cake mix, and you'll see that here in a minute. So this just needs 1 spice cake mix. We're going to also add in 3 eggs, a cup of pumpkin, 3/4 a cup of water, a half a cup of vegetable oil, 1/3 a cup of granulated sugar, and then 2 teaspoons of pumpkin pie spice. And we're just going to blend all that together with a hand mixer and get it all good and combined. It, normally on a cake mix, it'll tell you to mix it for a couple minutes or something like that. This did not say. So I just mixed it until it looked like it had kind of gotten good incorporated and nice and creamy. And so once that happened, I went ahead and stopped. I didn't do it for the full amount of time listed on the box, and it worked just fine. So I wouldn't worry about that at all. So are y'all already thinking about Thanksgiving? I know I am. I'm already excited about, all the different things that I'll make. And I'm probably going to make this for Thanksgiving because it was so good and it was super quick and easy. Also, I liked it even better after it sat in the refrigerator and I ate it cold. Now my daughter, she heated hers up, but so it would be a great thing to even make the day before because it tasted so good, even leftover. So, everything doesn't work that way well. So this is definitely one of those recipes that will. Now I'm just pouring that cake mix into a prepared pan that's been greased with butter. And we're going to go ahead and just make sure that's all even and spread out. And now we're going to start dolloping on our cream cheese mixture. And you just want to kind of just get it in all the little different areas. And then once we get it, all the cream cheese mixture on top, we're actually going to you can use a knife. I use just the bottom portion of a plastic fork. I didn't want to scratch my pan, so I thought that would be something good to use. And you're just going to swirl it and just kind of get it distributed, equally throughout and all swirly. And then that way you get little bites of that cream cheese mixture into every piece of cake you cut. And I loved that cream cheese mixture because I'm a huge cheesecake type fan. And that's kind of almost what that tastes a little like. So you've got the cake, you've got that, cream cheese top, all that is so good. And then the optional is to sprinkle chocolate chips on top. I really liked that. I liked the texture from the chocolate chips, like once it had cooled, and especially once it was left overnight. I really enjoyed that part. So, but if you don't want chocolate chips on there, you can definitely not add those if you'd like. I also think pecans would be a great addition to this too. If you're the type of person that likes, pumpkin bread with nuts and things like that, that would be another good addition. But I cannot recommend this recipe enough. It was absolutely amazing, so easy, and so delicious. So next up, we have pumpkin donuts. So guys, this is another super simple recipe. We're just going to add some flour, some brown sugar, a little bit of salt, baking powder, and pumpkin spice. And we're just going to mix that together and get it all good and combined. And then in another bowl, we're going to start kind of our wet ingredients. And the recipe actually called for pumpkin pie puree. I did not have any of the pumpkin pie puree. I just had plain canned pumpkin. So it did talk about like adding extra spice in that case. So I did add some extra spice of the pumpkin spice in to kind of compensate for that. But I've got the pumpkin I'm adding to another bowl. And then I'm going to also add some milk and some melted butter. And we're just going to mix that together and then basically combine the two of them. So this is so simple. It comes together super fast. Now this recipe only makes 6 donuts. So if you want more than that, you do want to like double the recipe or, however many you need. But I actually only have a pan that has 6 donut. Well, it's like a baking donut pan or whatever. And I actually only had one that had 6. So that worked out perfect for me. And it does say that these are best the day of. I don't know why. I mean, like if you left the cinnamon sugar off of them, I think they would keep fine. Now with the cinnamon sugar, it would probably get a little wet and it probably wouldn't work very well. But if you want to put them plain and save them, I think that would be just fine. Also, you could try different frosting if you wanted to, like, or different kind of topping or whatever. And you could do, like cream cheese frosting, or you could do like a maple glaze. So there's other things that might work a little better for keeping it. So now that we've got that all combined together, we're just scooping it into a Ziploc storage bag. And those make great like icing bags or like anytime you want to pop something out. So it's a quick, top in a pinch thing. I used to actually decorate cakes like years ago. I just took the Wilton classes and all that stuff. So somewhere I've got buried, I do have some cake decorating stuff. But the bags work in a pinch and they work just great. So I definitely recommend using those. And I'm just popping these out into my pan here. I've had this pan forever, so I don't even remember where I got it at. But I was glad that I had it on hand when I decided to make this recipe. It made, great donuts. And they really do look like little donuts, so it's really cool. It's the first time I actually used it. I bought it years ago with intentions of making something and didn't. And, you know how it goes. I'm sure y'all have things like that in your house too. And this made this, like I said, super easy to just pop them into the little donut openings. And then we're just going to bake that in the oven at 350 degrees for about 10 to 11 minutes. As any recipe, ovens can be different. So always, kind of check. And then, you can always bake them a little longer. It's always good to check a little earlier on and make sure they get, done, but not overdone, hopefully. So now we're just working on the cinnamon sugar mixture that we're going to dip the donuts in. You're basically going to dip them in melted butter first and then dip them in the cinnamon sugar mixture. And this is kind of nice because you can control how much you want. So like my husband, he didn't want as much, cinnamon sugar on his. So I just dipped the top portion. For others, I dipped, both the top and bottom. So that definitely worked really well. And you could definitely add in, again, if you wanted to add in nuts to these or chocolate chips or anything extra. I just made it just like the recipe said though. Or again, use different toppings too. And so now they are done. And here I am dipping them in the melted butter. And this was, like I said, a super easy recipe that came together super fast. And we'll definitely make these again. I would really like to try them with, like I mentioned earlier, the maple. I saw another recipe with maple, frosting on it, and then cream cheese frosting would be really good because pumpkin and cream cheese I feel like just go really well together. So there's definitely lots of different ways that you could kind of change these up and make different ones. And really you can kind of, since they're individual, you can cater them to whoever wants whatever topping. So that's what's kind of fun about these. And this would be a really fun breakfast too. I mean, who doesn't like donuts for breakfast, right? So this would be great. And I'm sure it'd be great with a cup of coffee if coffee is your thing. I am not a coffee drinker. I love the smell of it, and I like some of frappe drinks and stuff like that. But I'm sure that, you know, for people who enjoy coffee, you know, one of these and a cup of coffee would be a delicious way to start the day. So I definitely recommend this recipe as well. We really enjoyed it, and like I said, we'll definitely be making it again. I'm excited to try some more pumpkin stuff too, because I just love pumpkin flavored things. It's just fun to try new recipes. So I hope you enjoyed those recipes. I know we sure did. If you make any of them, always let me know if you make any of my recipes. I'd love to hear about it and what you thought about it. Of course, you know, some are my recipes, some are recipes I found places. I always leave them linked in the description box for you, whether it be from my blog or from someone else's source. So I definitely love to try all kinds of new recipes. But thank you again for joining me today. I hope you have a blessed day wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one.